Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you might just change your life. You're standing here today, perhaps feeling wounded, maybe even broken, but I want you to understand something powerful. Those feelings you carry, they're not your weakness, they're your superpower. Every emotion you feel, every tear you've shed, every moment your heart has ached, they're all testaments to your ability to love deeply, care profoundly, and live authentically. But somewhere along the way, someone taught you that your feelings were too much, that you needed to tone it down, to shrink yourself, to become more manageable. They made you believe that your emotional depth was a liability rather than the gift it truly is. Let me tell you something, they were wrong. Dead wrong. Your heart isn't a playground for someone else's games. Your emotions aren't toys to be picked up and discarded at another's convenience. Your feelings aren't a testing ground for someone else's emotional immaturity. You are a soul of infinite depth, capable of experiencing life in vibrant colors, while others see only shades of gray. Think about it. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel without judgment? When did you last trust your intuition without second-guessing every signal your heart sent you? Society has conditioned us to believe that being emotional is somehow a flaw, especially in a world that prizes cold logic and detachment. But I'm here to tell you that your emotional intelligence is a compass that, when properly trusted, will guide you through life's most treacherous waters. Remember those times when people told you you're too sensitive? Those moments when they laughed at your tears or dismissed your concerns? They weren't seeing your sensitivity for what it truly is, a gift that allows you to connect deeply with others, to understand nuances that many miss, to create meaningful relationships that stand the test of time. But here's where many of us falter. We give away the keys to our emotional kingdom too easily. We allow others to dictate how we should feel when we should feel it, and how we should express it. We let them gaslight us into believing our reactions are overdramatic or unnecessary. No more. Starting today, you're taking back control of your emotional sovereignty. You see, the people who play with feelings are often the ones who don't understand their true value. They're like children handling precious artifacts, unaware of their worth, carelessly tossing them around until something breaks. But you're not an artifact to be handled carelessly. You're a living, breathing tapestry of experiences, emotions, and dreams. Think of your heart as a garden. Would you let someone trample through it, crushing your carefully tended flowers under their feet? Would you allow them to pull up your roots just to see if they'll grow back? Of course not. So why do we allow people to do this with our feelings? It's time to build a fence, not to shut people out completely, but to ensure that only those who respect your emotional landscape get to walk through your garden. The truth is, those who try to play with your feelings often do so because they're trying to fill a void within themselves. They mistake your emotional availability for weakness, your openness for vulnerability they can exploit. They don't understand that your capacity to feel deeply is actually a sign of immense strength. It takes courage to keep your heart open in a world that often tries to shut it down. But here's what's going to change today. You're going to stop apologizing for feeling deeply. You're going to stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You're going to stop allowing people to treat your emotions like they're inconvenient or excessive. Your feelings are valid, every single one of them, whether they're convenient for others or not. Start setting boundaries, firm, unshakable boundaries. When someone shows you they can't be trusted with your feelings, believe them the first time. Don't give them endless chances to prove they might change. Your emotional well-being is not a training ground for someone else's growth. Learn to recognize the signs early. Watch for those who try to diminish your feelings, who make light of your pain, who turn your emotional experiences into jokes or ammunition. These are not people who deserve access to your inner world. They're showing you exactly who they are, believe them. Your emotions are messages from your deepest self, trying to guide you, protect you, show you what matters most to you. When someone tries to invalidate these messages, they're not just playing with your feelings, They're attempting to disconnect you from your own internal guidance system. It's time to appreciate the strength in your sensitivity. Consider this. Your ability to feel deeply means you can experience joy more intensely, love more completely, and connect more meaningfully than those who suppress their emotions. You can read rooms, sense undercurrents, and understand people in ways that others can't. These are superpowers, not weaknesses. Start treating your feelings with the respect they deserve. When you feel something, acknowledge it. Sit with it. Listen to what it's trying to tell you. Your emotions are not random. They're responses to your experiences, your environment, your interactions. They're valid data points about your life and what's working or not working for you. And let's talk about those who've played with your feelings in the past. Their actions say far more about them than they do about you. People who toy with others' emotions often do so because they're disconnected from their own. They're emotional tourists in the deep waters where you naturally swim. Their games are a reflection of their limitations, not yours. Build a council of trusted people who honor your emotional depth. These are the ones who listen without trying to fix, who validate without trying to change, who stand witness to your feelings without judgment. These people exist. They're out there waiting to connect with someone as authentic as you. Your task now is to become the guardian of your own heart. This doesn't mean building walls so high no one can reach you. It means creating healthy boundaries that protect your emotional well-being while still allowing genuine connections to form. It means being discerning about who gets access to your deeper feelings. When someone shows you respect, when they handle your emotions with care, when they create a safe space for you to be fully yourself, these are the people worth keeping in your life. These are the connections worth nurturing. These are the relationships that will help you grow rather than diminish you. Remember, emotional depth is not a modern invention. It's as old as humanity itself. Throughout history, the greatest artists, leaders, and innovators have been people who felt deeply and used those feelings to create, to inspire, to change the world. You stand in this tradition of people whose emotional sensitivity was their greatest strength. Start paying attention to how people make you feel. Your body knows, it always knows. When someone consistently leaves you feeling drained, doubtful, or diminished, that's your inner wisdom sending you a message. Honor it. When someone makes you feel seen, heard, and valued, that too is a message. Trust it. Your feelings are not up for debate. They're not negotiable. They're not subject to someone else's approval or understanding. They are your truth, your experience, your reality. Anyone who tries to convince you otherwise is not someone who deserves a place in your inner circle. Learn to distinguish between those who genuinely care and those who are emotional vampires. The ones who care will show consistency between their words and actions. They'll respect your boundaries. They'll apologize sincerely when they hurt you. And most importantly, they'll change their behavior to avoid hurting you again. You've probably heard the saying that when people show you who they are, believe them. This applies double when it comes to how people treat your feelings. If someone repeatedly dismisses, belittles, or plays with your emotions, they're showing you exactly how much or how little they value you. Believe them and act accordingly. Start practicing emotional self-defense. Just as you wouldn't let someone repeatedly hit you physically, don't let them repeatedly hurt you emotionally. Your feelings deserve the same protection as your physical self. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away from people who don't respect your emotional boundaries. Your capacity to feel deeply is not a design flaw, it's a feature. It's what allows you to experience life in high definition while others watch it in standard. It's what enables you to form deep, meaningful connections. It's what makes you an excellent friend, partner, family member, and human being. From this day forward, make a commitment to yourself. Promise that you won't let anyone play with your feelings anymore. Promise that you'll honor your emotional experience. Promise that you'll surround yourself with people who value your depth rather than try to shallow it out. You're not asking for too much when you demand respect for your feelings. You're not being too sensitive when you call out emotional manipulation. You're not overreacting when you distance yourself from people who treat your feelings carelessly. You're practicing self-respect, and that's something you should never apologize for. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. Your feelings are valid. Your emotions matter. Your heart deserves protection. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise. Build your boundaries, guard your heart, and save your emotional energy for those who prove themselves worthy of it. The world needs people like you, people who feel deeply, love wholly, and care completely. But it needs you strong, protected, and whole. It needs you to stand firm in your truth and not let anyone play games with your heart. Your feelings are your power source. Don't let anyone dim your light. So stand tall in your emotional truth. Set your boundaries with confidence. Choose carefully who gets access to your heart. And remember, you're not just protecting yourself, you're preserving your capacity to feel deeply, to love fully, and to live authentically. That's not just self-preservation. It's an act of self-love that will ripple out and touch every area of your life. The people who tried to play with your feelings, they taught you something valuable. They showed you what you won't accept anymore. Thank them for the lesson, and then close that door firmly behind you. Your future belongs to those who know how to honor your heart, respect your feelings, and cherish your emotional depth. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not too emotional. You are perfectly, wonderfully, magnificently you. And from this day forward, anyone who wants to be part of your life will need to understand and respect that truth. Your feelings are not a game, and your heart is not a toy. It's time to live that truth every single day.